Sometimes in life you find a product that is much better at doing something it was never intended to do than it is at doing the thing it was intended to do, like scraping things off the windscreen using a credit card. Did you know that Viagra was originally invented to treat high blood pressure? And Post-it notes only came about because someone invented a glue that was a bit rubbish and didn't really stick permanently to stuff. And let's not even talk about back massage ones. The Ford Puma, when it came out in January 2020, was never designed to be an electric car. But now it is one. It's had batteries jammed into its undersides and a 168 horsepower electric motor stuck on the front axle. And you know what? I think I actually prefer it to the petrol Puma, which, let's not forget, is the UK's biggest selling car most months. Let's find out if this can match it. I was going to sit here and tell you that the Ford Puma Gen-E starts from about £30,000, but literally while we're filming this, the UK government has given it the new and very confusing EV grant, taking off over £3.5 grand. So it's now just over £26,000, and that's actually a bit cheaper than the cheapest petrol one. This particular car is an entry-level select model with the comfort pack, which gives you an electric boot, electric folding door mirrors and keyless ignition, and the winter pack, which fills it with snow, or gives it heated seats and a heated steering wheel, whatever. Now, if you're cynical like me, you think this is just a normal Puma that's had batteries and a motor bolted to it as an afterthought, and it certainly looks that way, doesn't it? Looks like a normal Puma with the grille filled in, which is just an EV cliche. So it looks like a normal Puma with the exception of a special blue and a special yellow paint option. You get LED matrix headlights if you get top spec ones, unlike this, and it is heavier than the normal Puma by about 300 kilos. However, this is still only 1.56 tons, which is light for an electric car. I wonder why it's so light. It's because it's got one of the smallest EV batteries on sale in the UK, just 43 kilowatt hour usable. Don't switch off. Yes, that would normally mean it's only got a range of about 150 miles, but this is so efficient you can get 250 miles out of it, or about 170 if you're doing lots of motorway driving. So yes, it's small and it doesn't charge very fast at just 100 kilowatts, but because it's small, it still only takes about 22 minutes to fill it up to 80%. It's good, it's efficient. In here, it's all the same as the facelift Puma that came out last year. Pretty much. You've got the squarey steering wheel, you've got a big infotainment screen with wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, and you've got a big digital dashboard. Now, bear in mind, this is the entry-level model. I've still got a wireless phone charger. The gear shift has been moved to a column shift like in the Mercedes, so you get a bit more space down there. Got two cup holders there, a small one for a Red Bull or other energy drinks and a small can in the middle. And the glove box is actually an all right size for a small car. Now, what I like most about this is that despite being an entry-level one, you've got these soft fake leather bits on the dash there with some stitching. It just brightens it up, but then really hard, nasty, old school Ford plastic. So it's a bit of a mishmash. You do get cloth seats in this entry one. You can step up, as I said at the start of the video. I like these. They're nice. They are heated as well because I've got the winter pack and the steering wheel's heated as well. And if you upgrade to the top spec one, you get a B&O sound system with 10 speakers and a sound bar as well, but I don't really feel the need to. Backseat space in a normal Puma is never great for adults, and this electric version is worse, unfortunately, because the floor is a bit higher. Your feet sit quite high and your knees are at a more unnatural angle, so it's not very comfortable. Not to mention that's my driving position. I'm 6'3", so I'm quite tall, but yeah, my knees are jammed solidly into that, and there's really not much space under the seats anymore for your trotters, and you've got hard plastic here where your elbow rests. It's just a bit dismal, to be honest. I've got electric windows in the back, and I've got okay sized door bins and map pockets and two USB-Cs and a 12 volt and a flat floor, but your middle seat passenger is really going to struggle to find anywhere to put their feet, and there's no center armrest. The only real saving grace is that the ISOFIX bits down here, they're not behind flaps, they're just in the folds, but the rear doors don't open that wide, so getting a child seat in is a bit of a faff. So yeah, Ford Puma, fun to drive, efficient, all the rest of it. Backseat space is its real Achilles heel. Around the back, the Puma Gen-E looks like a Puma, although this is apparently slightly longer than on the petrol one. You can tow up to 750 kilos if you get a tow bar, but the big numbers, the impressive numbers, are in the boot, which is now much bigger than in the petrol one. It's 535 litres. That eclipses almost every other car in this class. And you might think, Tim, that's not 535 litres, especially with the big Bago cables there. But do you remember the Megabox that you had on the original Puma? That's now a Gigabox. or as I like to call it, a giggle box, because you could fill it with so much fun. Because look at that. That is 65 litres bigger than the old Mega Box. You can put 100 kilos in there. It's still got a drain plug, so you can fill it with water and ice and beers if you're camping. Don't drink and drive. But that is absolutely giant, to the extent that my 6-year-old can fit in there and I can close the boot floor down. That's wicked. If you're going camping, that is so useful for stashing stuff and still having loads of boot space. Well done. And they've made it bigger because I guess they don't have to cater for an exhaust coming out the back, so blah, blah, blah. They've used this space cleverly, despite the fact this wasn't designed as an EV. Ford, you win so much engineering respect from me for that, even if you've still got the slightly flimsy, annoying parcel shelf, but it does mostly get out of your way until you prod it and it falls down. Didn't fall down. Whatever. Let's get on to the rest of the video. Actually, before we do the rest of the video, I forgot to mention 2 things. All of these get a reversing camera, even the entry-level model, and the boot floor is actually adjustable. So you can have it up high, so you've got no load lip, or you can drop it down there on top of the Giggle Box, so you've got more boot space in general. I love it. It's electric as well, even on entry-level models, and it's got a 12-volt socket. These are the things I forgot to say a minute ago. Right, I'm sitting here with my arms crossed because we're about to go for a drive in the Ford Puma Gen-E. And there is one thing you notice when you get into this, having been in the normal Puma, the floor's higher in the front as well. So the driving position puts me very close to the ceiling. I have dropped the seat as low as it will go. And also the rearview mirror feels very close to my face in normal driving. But yeah, I'm 6'3", it doesn't really bother me too much. You put it down into D with that column shifter, and then you do a 3-point turn in front of a jogger, because I've planned this very poorly. And then you realise that visibility out the back is sort of compromised by thick C-pillars and a fairly small rear window. It's also worth noting that the door mirrors are pretty titchy, and it's sometimes quite hard to get them in the right sort of place for a parallel park. But otherwise, this is dead easy to drive. Most impressive is that the ride comfort...
Mum, WhatsApp audio.
Go away, Mum. I'm filming. Sorry, that was my mother. She's trying to buy a house. What you notice is the ride quality is actually pretty good. Even on a bumpy B road like this, for an EV, this is pretty well judged, especially when you consider that the Puma Gen-E's party piece is that it handles with the same sporty fun as the petrol version. I've always liked that car. It's based on the old Fiesta, so is this. So I'm not going to do it on camera because I don't want to get arrested. But if you like chucking the car into roundabouts and being a bit of a yobbo with the steering wheel, the back end will lift up and kick out, and you can have all sorts of old school Ford hot hatch fun. It's got quite a simple suspension system at the back, but Ford's engineers, they're old school and they know what they're doing. Straight line performance is mid for an EV. It's 8 seconds to 62 miles an hour. But when you're rolling, you put your foot down, it pretty well flies. It feels very brisk, and you can put it in sport mode by going through the touchscreen, and then you get quite a nice sharp throttle response, but slightly annoying weight to the steering. But the steering is really lovely. It's nice, it's direct, it does exactly what you want it to do, and it all adds to that sporty character. So in terms of its rivals, things like the Mini Aceman, the Kia EV3, not driven the Renault 5 yet, this is a proper laugh to drive if you're not being filmed for YouTube, like I currently am. And there is a speed limit warning, but you can hold the limiter button to turn it off very easily indeed. So yeah, it's well sorted. It's got all the fun traits of the standard Puma. But one other very, very impressive thing about this car is how efficient it is. If you're driving this mostly around town or at 40 or 50 on country roads like this, and you're not lead footing it everywhere, you can get really close to 6 miles per kilowatt hour, which gives you a theoretical range of 250 miles, which is way more than it's actually meant to do on paper, which is rare. Now, if you do go on a motorway, it drops quite quickly though, so you're going to get more like 150, 170 miles out for full charge on the motorway at 70 miles an hour. But for the driving I've been doing, and I think most Puma drivers are going to do, it's very efficient. It's one of the most efficient EVs I've ever tested, and I can't believe I'm saying that because this is clearly based on the old Puma. One little niggle I have is that to adjust the level of regenerative braking, you can either press the L button on the shifter up here, which gives you a medium level of brake regen. But to activate the one pedal mode, you've got to press a button up here, wait, go to features, wait, go to drive mode, wait, and then try and hit the one pedal drive button down there. And then the actual one pedal driving mode itself, it feels a bit lurchy to me. I know it's meant to slow you down to a stop, but this doesn't feel that well judged. Other little things to point out, you do get a bit of tyre roar at motorway speeds. It's not the most refined cruiser, but when you get to a twisty country road, you don't really care. And the brakes, don't quite stop you as fast or as quickly as you might want. But it's not dangerous, it's just not proper sporty like the petrol-powered one is. So there we go, it's very impressive. Back to me for a conclusion. I'll be honest, I came to this car at the start of this week, living with it, with quite low hopes. It's a Puma that was never designed to be an electric car, it's been forced to be an electric car, but Ford has done a proper job. Not only has it retained the Puma's fun to drive joie de vivre, aka you can drive it like a bit of a knob, but it's also got a more practical boot, and the interior on this facelift one is actually sort of all right. Now on downsides, there are some plasticky bits, but you can sort of live with that, and the backseat space is toilet, unless you have young children. But now, this is a 26 grand car. That's cheaper than some Renault 5s, which are undoubtedly trendier. And it is a lot cheaper than the Kia EV3, which is the car to pick if you want actual backseat space. I guess it's also a rival for the Mini Aceman, but I would rather find half a Theresa May in my Apple than drive the Mini Aceman again. It's so firm, it's £40,000. It can barely do 210 miles on a charge, whereas if you drive this normally, you'll get closer to 250. 250 miles, big boot, lots of tech. For now, £26,000 as of about an hour ago. Yeah, it's better than the petrol one. I think we're going to see these everywhere. It is possibly the best car Ford currently makes, apart from the Mustang Dark Horse, but whatever. Anyway, if you've liked this video and you've made it to the end, please consider pressing that button with its thumb stuck up. I don't know what that represents, to be honest. Subscribe to Motorpoint YouTube channel. Go down to the comments and tell me how much you hate EVs and how you're going to stick with your 20-year-old £500 MX-5. Whatever. Bye.